Once the midground has been created, we are now ready to create our 3D scene. To get started, select the midground layer, then come over to the Layers tool panel and select the Rotate Layer XY tool. Then enter in the value of -77 degrees for the X rotation. The next thing we're going to do is split up our view. Go to your view options and select side-by-side view. In the left panel, we will have our view from the front, and in the right panel, we will have a top-down view. Right-click the right panel to make that view panel active, then go up to View, Direction, Top. This will now show us a top-down view of our scene. Now we're going to set up our scene on the Z-axis to create our 3D scene. Select the puddle using the Select Points tool, and using the Transform Points tool, drag the puddle closer to the camera. Use the left view panel to see how everything will be displayed when moving the background elements in the top view. Next, select the two endpoints of the midground with the Transform Points tool. Hold Alt and stretch out the midground horizon line. Next, select the sidewalk and street lines, and using the Transform Points tool, scale the points in to create perspective. Next, go ahead and move the midground layer below all the other building layers for now. Select the first building layer, in my case building 4. Using the Transform Layer tool, move the layer about halfway on the midground layer. Right now we're setting up the buildings on the Z axis in the right panel, and I can move the buildings on the X and Y axis in the left panel. We will refine this more as we go. Do the same thing for building 1. Next, select building 3 and using the Transform Layer tool, move the building back in Z space. Do the same thing with building 2. Now take and move the layers for building 3 and 2 under the midground layer. Now we need to make sure all the background elements are on the midground plane visually. Right-click the right view panel and go to View, Direction, Right. I'm going to use the Orbit tool here in the Workspace panel and just adjust my view a little bit to right about there. And now doing the same thing using the left view as a reference, I'm going to move my layers on the Y-axis to be on the ground and also line it up on the X-axis. Last, I'm going to make sure the prop is lined up. I can use this right view to move the prop forward and backward, and I'm going to come here and line it up where that puddle is. Once I think everything is lined up well visually, I use the Camera Track tool to test. Alright, everything looks good. Feel free to make any tweaks, scale buildings, and do anything else you need to make it look good to you. In the next video, we'll finish up with adding the cityscape and sky. I'll see you there. If you want to learn how to create a whole other type of animation scene, like the one we created here, then be sure to check out the Create Your First Animation course. In this course, I walk you through step by step how to use the drawing tools, how to rig a character created in Photoshop, and how to animate an action scene. Want to take the course? Use promo code ANIMATION2019 and get the course 50% off. Link is in the description.